and all these on that option. Get the mask on my face like a catch. Don't call my phone unless you trying to cop. I'll pull up and serve you well.
Does Cam Newton still want to be a Carolina Panther? Yo! Welcome to LCameraTV. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share on things like Facebook and Reddit and Instagram and rumble.com and wherever else. And guys, we got a lot to talk about, man. First of all, we got to talk about a certain quarterback who said something that's pretty interesting. Definitely got to talk about that. We also got to talk about a certain team that won the NFC South division and what that means for the Carolina Panthers. Got to talk about that. And just how this whole situation is going about and what I think the future holds for the Carolina Panthers. So we got a lot to talk about today, guys. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is that the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, the team that I hate the most out of the NFC South division, just won the division. And the reason why they won the division, one, is because they're 10-2 and we're 5-6. Even if we win the next, rest of our games, we'll be like 10-6. And if they lose the rest of their games, they'll be 10-6. But the situation with that is, even if they lose the rest of their games and we win the rest of our games, they have the division lead over us because they swept the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and we haven't swept any team in our division. We already lost to the Falcons once, we already lost to Tampa Bay once, and we beat Tampa Bay once, and we lost to the Saints once. So if we were to beat the Saints, and then beat them again at our house or whatever it is, then it wouldn't have been a situation. But since that's not the case, and Joey Slye missed field goals, we cannot win the NFC South division, so that's out of the running. So the only way we can get in the playoffs is a wild card, which I think that's slim to none because, again, you got the Vikings and the Seahawks who have way better record than us, and they're just better teams. So most likely the Panthers will not make the playoffs again. And that sucks, but it is what it is. It's what is to be expected. We had a backup quarterback basically the whole year. So, I mean, it sucks because obviously, when you just want to get to the game. You just want to get to the playoffs and see what happens. Maybe you go on a run. And if it was in the NFC East, that would be possible because, the best team in the NFC East is 6-6. You know what I'm saying? So that would have been the situation. But we're not. We're in the NFC South with the Saints, and every team in our division besides the Saints has bad records. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 4-7. The Falcons are like 3-9 or something like that, 3-8, whatever. And we're 5-6, obviously. So Saints got the division, which I'm pretty upset about because, like I said, I don't like the Saints. I would rather any team in the NFC South besides the Saints to get the division, but the Saints got it. So that sucks. Didn't think the year was going to turn out this way, and we're just playing games now. You know what I'm saying? Seeing how the backups going to play, and just seeing how that whole thing goes about. Because to be honest with you, the Carolina Panthers are going to be in a major change pretty soon. So we'll see how everything plays out. And in other news, the Carolina Panthers got some good news on Thanksgiving. Cam Newton obviously did his Thanksgiving event, which he does every year. Charity event. He gave out, I think he gave out 1,300 meals or whatever, Thanksgiving meals. So he does this every year, and he talks to the fans. He talks to the Charlotte natives, and he said something that really is impactful to the Carolina Panthers and the Charlotte in general. Basically, he said Charlotte is home. And he would love to be a Carolina Panther, for the foreseeable future, which is very good news for the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton is integral to the Carolina Panthers' success. That's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I think if Cam Newton was any semblance of healthy, I think this season would have went a lot different. But because he was dealing with his injury and that whole situation, you see what the season is. We're 5-6, and it's just not going the way we thought it would go. So David Tepper already said that he only want to evaluate Cam when he's healthy. He says hopefully Cam will be a Carolina Panther for a long time. Cam Newton says he wants to be in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Charlotte's home and he wants to be in Carolina. So from what I'm hearing is that they're not going to release Cam out of his contract on the one-year contract that he has. And that's great to hear. Now, mind you, I think there's definitely there's going to be a lot of changes. But one change is not going to be in the quarterback situation, which I'm happy about. But there definitely needs to be some changes, and I think David Tepper is really going to be changing a lot of people. I think, to be honest with you, I think most of the coaching staff is going to get fired. I think the general manager is going to get fired. And I think, there's a lot of guys that we're paying that's not really living up to the billing. I think Jerry McCoy is going to walk next year. You know what I'm saying? He was on a one-year contract. I think Dontari Poe, you know what I'm saying, Bruce Irving. I think a lot of guys they're going to let go. They're older players. And I think they're going to influx in a lot of help as far as Cam Newton and just the offense in general. So I'm really happy about that. I'm happy that it sounds like David Tipper and Cam Newton are on the same page. I'm happy that Cam is probably going to be our quarterback for the next year also. Hopefully he can get healthy. Hopefully everything can be fine. And if that's the case, I think we'll be in a good situation, man, for next year. But we'll see how that whole thing plays out. Obviously this year is not over. But it is reassuring to know that you have your starting quarterback for at least next year. So we'll see how that whole thing plays out, man. And finally, I think it's time for a change of the guard. Now, future-wise, I think Ron Rivera is going to be let go. Obviously, I said this before. I think Marty Herney's going to be let go. Said that before. But I think I want an offensive-minded head coach. And the reason why I say that is because of this. There's certain times where you can rely on players to be like a coach on the field. And Luke Kuechly is already that. Luke Kuechly is basically a coach on the field. He knows all the defensive calls. He knows all the plays. He knows how to read offenses. And even if you get another defensive coordinator in there, another defensive scheme, he's smart enough to pick it up. But I want an offensive-minded head coach because I want a coach that's going to, preferably from a West Coast offense or like, maybe Eric Bieniemy from Kansas City or something like that, whatever, who's going to have a high-flying, intricate offense that gets people open. Because what we've seen for Cam Newton's whole career is a defensive-minded head coach that loves to run the ball and basically play action off of that. And that's fine, but if you really want to see the type of talent Cam Newton is, he needs to be in a situation where he's able to throw the ball, he has good receivers, he has a good O-line, he has a good offense. I feel like Cam Newton's whole career he's been mismanaged in the sense that we always spent a lot of draft capital, a lot of money on defense, but on offense, we never really did that. Offense, we let the O-line get obliterated. We let, receivers just become, second nature. I mean, like, let's be honest. DJ Moore looks like a emerging star now. But for the most part, Cam Newton, his whole career, had nothing but scrubs. Kevin Benjamin, we see he's out of the league. Steve Smith was a baller, but he only had him for like 1 or 2 years. You know what I'm saying? But he was throwing to Ted Ginn. He was throwing to Philly Brown. And I don't think Philly Brown's in the league anymore. He was throwing to all these guys, Legadou Nene, and all these guys that they just, got from basic, I don't want to say the trash heap, but just, reject receivers that he had to throw to, that was subjected to. You know what I'm saying? Besides Greg Olsen, who's been the one constant. And obviously, yeah, that was about it. Everybody else has been fluctuating and influx. And I think I want an offensive-minded head coach because if he gets an offensive-minded head coach, I think we'll see Cam Newton in a better light. I think we'll see Cam Newton in an offense where he can throw the ball around, he can be dynamic, and, it'll work for him. That's why, I was saying Jim Harbaugh or Eric Bieniemy or whatever. Just get a coach that lets Cam, be offensive guru or offensive genius. Let him throw the ball around, let him do stuff like whatever. Now, obviously, running the ball, it matters. But I'm tired of seeing our offense be neglected in that sense. Now, the defense, like I said, I think Luke Kuechly could coach up a lot of these guys. I think Luke Kuechly knows offenses. I think Luke Kuechly is dynamic. And I'm not saying neglect the defense because obviously you want a coach that's going to pay attention to the defense. But as a head coach, you can't neglect neither side. And I think Ron Rivera was neglecting the offense. And it wasn't until later where he started getting O-linemen, where he started getting receivers. But for the most part, every year he drafts some defensive player and majority defense. If you look at even the year he drafted last year, we drafted Brian Burns. He drafted Brian Burns, then he drafted Greg Little. Then I think he went defense from the remainder. You know what I'm saying? He drafted Will Greer, but most of the time he drafted defense. We just cut Rashard Golden, who was the defensive player that we drafted in the 3rd round instead of getting an offensive player. See, stuff like that they have an issue with. You know what I'm saying? These guys are not panning out. You're not drafting well. And instead of getting an offensive player that can help out Cam, you get a defensive safety that never panned out, and now you release them. So it's like, it's a lot of stuff that, I think is going to change, and I hope we get an offensive coach that's going to, help Cam get to the level he can reach. Because, again, I think Cam is a good quarterback. I just think that in the system that he was in, they was either trying to change him or they was trying to do run, and just have him play action. You know what I'm saying? The one time he was actually throwing the ball around, he looked really good in 2015. So hopefully we can get that, whatever. But like I said, there's going to be a big change in Carolina soon. So, well, that's it for me, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share cool things like Facebook and Reddit and Instagram and Rumble.com and Twitter and wherever else. And guys, get in the comment section, man. How do you feel about the Carolina Panthers as a whole? Do you like their direction? Do you dislike their direction? Do you think we have a shot to make the playoffs? I don't think so. Put that in the comment section below. And are you happy that Cam Newton says he want to be in Carolina? Also put that in the comment section below. Check out the Spreadshirt account, the Patreon page, and the NFL affiliate link. All those are in the description below. Share to our Panther fans, anybody Panther related, anybody football related, let them know LCameraTV is rocking with Panther Nation. Panther Nation is rocking with LCameraTV. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for showing love. Check out my dog Renard Steven channel. Very funny dude, very talented. Check out my Thanksgiving video. Very funny. A lot of people like it. Definitely check it out, man. It's going to be in the end screen. And thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for showing love. And like I said, obviously y'all can tell I'm a little under the weather, but I'm happy that Cam wants to be a Panther. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for showing love. I'm going to see y'all next time. Peace.